She didn't know. She had absolutely no idea that the one thing she'd forgotten to do before handing me her laptop was log out of iMessage. I wasn't snooping. At least, not at first. I just needed to send myself a document, because my own computer had died the night before. If I'd waited another 5 seconds, if I'd closed the Messages app without looking, my life would probably be completely different today. At that point, we'd been together for almost 4 years. We met in college. She was funny, smart, and the kind of person who could walk into any room and instantly become everyone's favorite. I honestly thought I was going to marry her. We had talked about buying a house someday. We had plans for the future. Our families loved each other, and everything seemed perfect from the outside. Sure, we'd argue once in a while, but nothing that ever made me question our relationship. Lately, though, she'd been staying late at work almost every night. She always had a reason. A big project, a difficult client, an important deadline. I believed every word she said. Why wouldn't I? Trust isn't something you think about until it's gone. Then there was Jake. Jake wasn't just a friend. He was my best friend. We'd known each other since we were kids. He'd been there through every major moment of my life. Birthdays, graduation, breakups, family emergencies. He was practically my brother. The three of us spent a lot of time together. We watched movies, went on road trips, had barbecues, and celebrated holidays. Looking back now, I can remember little moments that seemed strange. An inside joke I didn't understand. A look between them that lasted a little too long. A smile that felt different. At the time, none of it meant anything. When you trust people completely, your brain doesn't look for reasons to doubt them. That afternoon, my laptop completely stopped working. I asked if I could borrow hers for an hour. She smiled without hesitation. Of course. She gave me a kiss, grabbed her keys, and left for what she said was another late shift at work. I sat down at the kitchen table and opened the laptop. Everything was normal. I logged into my email, downloaded the file I needed. Then a notification appeared. One message. A few seconds later, another. Then another. I wasn't trying to read them. But when your best friend's name appears 3 times in a row, you notice. The preview alone made my stomach drop. I can't stop thinking about last night. For a second, I convinced myself there had to be another explanation. Maybe it was another Jake. Maybe the message was old. Maybe someone else had used her computer. Anything. Anything except what I was starting to believe. I clicked on the conversation. My heart immediately started racing. There were hundreds of messages. Photos, heart emojis, plans for weekends together, conversations about meeting at hotels, conversations about lying to me. They joked about how easy it was to fool me. Every message felt like someone twisting a knife a little deeper. Then I found the message that completely shattered me. I can't wait to see you tonight. Tonight. The same night as our anniversary dinner. The dinner she'd canceled because she supposedly had to work late. I couldn't move. I just stared at the screen. People always ask what betrayal feels like. It isn't anger at first. It's confusion. Your brain refuses to accept what your eyes are seeing. You start inventing impossible explanations because accepting the truth is simply too painful. I reread the messages over and over again. The dates went back months. Not days. Not weeks. Months. This wasn't one mistake. This wasn't a bad decision. This was a second relationship that had been happening right in front of me while I trusted them both completely. Eventually, there were no excuses left. She was cheating on me with my best friend. The two people I trusted most had been lying to me for months. I took screenshots of everything. Every message. Every photo. Every conversation. I emailed the screenshots to myself just in case they disappeared. Then I closed the laptop. For almost an hour, I just sat there in complete silence. I thought about confronting her. I thought about calling Jake. I thought about pretending I'd never seen any of it. Then I remembered something her mother had told me months earlier. If my daughter ever hurts you, I hope you'll tell me. At the time, I laughed. I never imagined those words would actually matter. I opened my phone. I found the family group chat. Her parents. Her sister. Her grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins. My finger hovered over the send button. I must have stared at it for almost a full minute. Then I pressed send. The screenshots were delivered. For 2 minutes, nothing happened. Complete silence. Then her mom started typing. I expected denial. I expected confusion. I expected her to defend her daughter. Instead, the first message simply said, "I knew it." A few seconds later, "I'm so sorry." Then another message appeared. "Welcome to the family, ex-boyfriend." I couldn't believe what I was reading. Apparently, she'd already suspected something. She had confronted her daughter weeks earlier. She'd been lied to just like I had. Within minutes, my phone exploded. Calls from my girlfriend. Calls from Jake. Text messages. Voicemails. Missed calls from mutual friends. I ignored every single one. There was nothing left to say. Sometimes people think closure comes from one final conversation. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes closure comes from finally seeing the truth. No more excuses. No more lies. No more pretending. That day, I lost my girlfriend. I lost my best friend. But I also stopped wasting my future on people who never deserved my trust in the first place. Looking back now, that discovery hurt more than anything I'd ever experienced. But it also saved me from spending years with people who never truly respected me. And as painful as that day was, it ended up being the beginning of a much better life.